Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Friday the 18th of September 2020, and on Wednesday we published a video entitled FOMC Holds Rates, Gold and Silver Static, where we highlighted the FOMC decision not to lower rates or alter them at all, or make any major adjustment to their QE, bond buying or stimulus programs. Now today we shall take a look as to how markets have responded to that announcement and subsequent press conference by Jerome Powell, the Chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank, and suggest what we believe is causing the responses that we've seen so far. So let's take a look. On Wednesday, we pointed out that equity markets were mildly positive and gold and silver prices were little changed. Since then, we've seen the Dow Jones fall by around 400 points, the S&P 500 fall around 100, and the Nasdaq fall over 300 points. The dollar index is down 0.3 of a point, and oil and crude prices have moved above $40 a barrel. Gold is down around $4 at $1,954, at least at the time of producing this podcast, since our video on Wednesday, and silver is down around 22 cents, and Bitcoin has improved by around $150. Now tomorrow we shall of course be providing our gold and silver weekly update, and so much of the data that we have to announce will be published then. But here on Friday night, and as a precursor to that video, it's worth mentioning that the initial jobless claims this week only improved by some 280,000, though it was a little bit higher than expectations, and continuing jobless claims by 100,000. However, housing starts were down, and the current account deficit deteriorated for quarter two from minus $112 billion in quarter one to minus $171 billion in quarter two. And leading economic indicators for August were 1.2%, compared with 2% in July. Now, whilst gold is up for the week, at least so far, with a menu of mixed economic data, it appears to be mildly bullish only. Silver has again been positive for the week so far, but again only mildly. It is our contention that in spite of ever-increasing COVID-19 infections around the world, with not just the US experiencing these problems, but with 30.5 million cases now reported worldwide and 953,000 deaths so far, the fear of a second wave or a continuance of the first wave has become a reality. And this will probably, if not already, prompt governments to consider further lockdowns and more stimulus measures if that takes place. But what we've seen so far are only selective city or town or immediate vicinity lockdowns, and to some extent an avoidance of following the recommendations, as many people frankly are simply fed up with being caged, so to speak, and an increasing number believing the whole epidemic or pandemic is a hoax. So with these fears, it has surprised markets a little that further stimulus was not announced by the various central banks this week, and most of those banks are just continuing with their policies broadly unchanged from last month. Now this has threatened equity markets a little, both in Europe and the United States, thus their fall, and has acted as a slight headwind, funnily enough, preventing gold and silver prices from rising faster and further than they have. Had major stimulus packages, of course, been announced, then we could have seen that acting as a tailwind, pushing those prices higher, and of course the equity markets with them. So the result is a range-bound movement of both gold and silver, again broadly within the parameters we predicted last week, which, to be fair and honest, is heartening for us, as it's nice to get results validating our forecasts. Just a bit of controversy. Where is the $10,000 gold and $100 silver, Mr. Pumper? Still waiting. We're also still waiting for that $50 silver that everyone was certain was going to happen by the end of August, if not by the end of July, the month before. Don't worry, we won't gloat, as it's not a very nice character trait. Anyway, on a broader perspective, the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced today that we have a second wave of COVID, and England, Wales and Scotland have hinted, if not almost promised, not quite, at the potential of a national lockdown again, perhaps for 2 weeks, possibly in October, unless the situation improves and the number of infections recede. The US elections are currently showing Biden from the Democrat Party ahead of Trump from the Republican Party at 50% for Biden and 43% for Trump, at least according to the BBC, which looked at the individual national polls from the last 14 days, created trend lines using the median value, that is the value in the middle of the set of numbers, and come up with this conclusion. Though we all know that really it's a small number of individual states that are really going to determine the election result one way or another. Now, the United States has announced it is banning TikTok with effect from Sunday unless President Trump intervenes, and WeChat downloads will be stopped within 48 hours. There have also been new sexual assault allegations levied against President Trump by a former model in New York dating back to 1997. And the Never-Trumpers have admitted in the last day or so that they will be revealing anti-Trump former employees over the coming weeks, stating why they are now backing Joe Biden. Nice to be popular, and just shows why so many people refuse to go into politics in the first place. So there we have it until tomorrow, short and sweet for a Friday evening. Please do not forget to look in for our weekly update tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell sign so that you're notified of our videos as and when they are published. We hope you have found this video interesting and informative. And if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it on social media. Please ensure that you have subscribed to our channel and press the bell sign so that you are notified of any future videos. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe either as a free or paying member for regular email updates and offers. Disclaimer. Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.